If you stand here and you turn around, this is facing west. If we turn around and face east, this is upstream. This is the creek that comes off of my farm. This is Camp Creek. This whole entire valley, you can see how the vegetation has been mashed down and matted and moved in our direction. Then it all dammed up behind this road, and then you see the vegetation bent this way. It all shifted and flowed this way before going under the bridge. This bridge did not wash out. Here's more evidence, this mashed down vegetation. You can see oftentimes, and you'll see in these pictures, you'll see debris that had been washed downstream that'll be marking the high water mark. So you can go someplace in the fall, for example, and you look around and say, oh yeah, wow, there's been a heck of a flood here within the past year or two, because sometimes that stuff hanging up high in the brush, it gets dried out and it doesn't decay. So you'll see the high water mark with, you know, tufts of debris hanging up in the trees, and you'll know where the flood was. Simple observation. This is what, you know, happens to parts of the road. So we're basically driving up to my farm. We go through this crack in the rocks here. We're in bluff country. It's canyon land more than hills and valleys. So flat tableland on top, flat valleys in the bottom, steep hillsides in between. So as we go up here, can you see the evidence here of where the water had flowed across the road? At one point in time, the water came through here and was completely across the road that way and completely across the road, and we see the vegetation line and see how the sand pile has been carved all the way across here. So that's about 56 feet going across the highway, another 56, so 150 feet wide, raging river carved out the side of the road. This is skipping too fast. Well, so now what we've done is we've taken a right to turn up to my farm. This is a neighboring cornfield. Look what happens in annual cropland. In annual cropland, when the rain hits the bare soil, the soil particles get mixed with the rain, it settles out, the finest particles stay in suspension in the water, and the finest particles are clay particles. The coarser material settles out, and then it all washes away. So all of the soil is moving. There's fine particles of soil washing away with this. As more and more water accumulates in the valley, the stream gets larger and larger, faster, and then it picks up more and more heavier material, and then much of the erosion is caused by scouring from debris, from rocks and pebbles and gravel that are being carried with it. You can see how it roared all the way through this field here, and it spread all the way across, and I don't know why this little center part was raised a little bit. It had gone around this way, and it came around this way. And then it got to the bottom of the hill, and what's really interesting about this is just a generic picture to you guys. You know, who gives a rip, right? Well, if we went back here, this water right here shoots across the road right here. So this is all coming from that cornfield. This is how wide that stream was. This little piece right here came from the ditch on the side of the road. So this came from an annual crop field cornfield. This came from a ditch on the side of the road. Now look at this place over here that's all these trees and whatnot. Well, that happens to be New Forest Farm. And this happens to be a valley coming from New Forest Farm. All of New Forest Farm is patterned based on the keyline system, but modified. It has terraces or swales and berms, if you want to call them that, channels and mound to catch the water, spread it out, slow it down, soak it in, hold a bunch in a bunch of ponds. And look, there's nothing coming out of this valley. This is 20 acres worth of land. It got the same amount of water as this stuff did. It was 8 inches last night, 2.5 during the day. It's still raining right now. They're expecting another 3 to 5 inches the rest of tonight. So this is our croquet club, where we play croquet on Friday nights, the Kickapoo Valley Croquet Club, and gravel pit. And once again, look at this. No water coming off the farm, no water coming off the farm. Why doesn't New Forest Farm shed water like these other annual crop farms do? Here's the road. This is looking up the road now. This is coming from the cornfield, all the debris that's washed across. All of our fences on the downhill side were washed out from neighbors' water. I still have 2 pigs missing. There's not a single cow on the farm right now.